pitch.
Just with some context, really quick. I think one thing that's kind of like
if you live under a rock.
Yeah, I know. In case you live under a
literally
rock.
under a rock, because everybody know about it.
Alabama, and I think it was one other state before.
Somebody
Alabama.
else passed something else recently.
They passed a bill that bans abortion. Yeah, highly restricting it.
Just look at an electoral map, whatever's red.
Exactly. And I think at first they were excluding or accepting cases of incest and rape, and I think some of the members of the state legislature were like, nah, that doesn't count either. What happens kind of happens, whatever. I think it's important to starting off, not that we have much time, but just to kind of say what pro-choice means, because I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily understand. Yeah, I really think so. And I've seen people who argued saying I'm pro-choice just because they don't. I mean, I'm pro-life just because they don't agree with abortions. Pro-choice doesn't mean that you're a fan of abortions. Pro-choice just means you support people's right to choose, to choose for themselves.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely right.
People to you may necessarily if you get pregnant, you're I may not want to abort this, but that doesn't mean you being pro-life means that you're against people having the choice to do what they want with their bodies under whatever circumstance, regardless of if it was rape, incest, or it just was unplanned and you genuinely can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to lay that out, because a lot of people are saying pro-life just because they don't want to get abortions themselves, which is fine. Nobody's judging you if you don't want to get an abortion, but you have to. I think it's important to lay out what pro-choice actually means. You can be pro-choice and be against having an abortion yourself.
I think you nailed the hell out of that one. God, you did the hell out of that one.
In the words of Drake, you hit it right on the nose.
Right on the nose.
Right on the nose. Yeah, I mean, that's basically basically, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, as far as the actual act of an abortion, it's very controversial, but I believe
it's up to a woman to choose.
It's up to your woman to make a choice. I always say about a lot of issues, I think we care way too much about what other people do with their life.
I don't get it, and I know most of it comes from a kind of conservative religious I've seen people saying God doesn't make mistakes, or I've seen whatever religious reasoning. Outside of that, I don't really see why this is such has become a political thing. You get what I'm saying? What about? I get the
that's what it is.
If somebody's late, and it's late, then you can maybe bring in some people bringing in that murder argument.
There's a documentary on Netflix. It's literally that. It's a religious.
I don't get it.
Thing is. That's what it is.
I really don't get it, because it's so many factors that are again the population's we don't have enough resources for our growing population.
Well, I mean, the Republican part, conservatism is, it's based off of the Bible. I mean, in I think it was the 60s or 70s, no, it was the Reagan era. Church leaders, they went and got behind the Republican Party, and ever since then, that's just what it is.
And I've always said it's like this, man. In terms of religion, or in terms of even throwing religion in there, if you subscribe to a religious belief, I made the choice to be a Christian. People have choices in life, and that's what I think the biggest thing is. You can't take away people's choices. If somebody wants to do something, you just have to leave the option to them. It doesn't mean they necessarily have to do it, but the option has to be open. If you don't give people choices and we start doing this type of stuff all based on religion, then it becomes a theocracy, where it's just we're ruling this thing based off religion, and that becomes a problem, because that's how people came to America to try to escape in the first place. There has to be a clear line between church and state at some point. Yeah. I'm about to say, it's kind of no matter what you believe, I kind of believe that has to be inherently important, because at the end of the day, we all don't believe the same thing. It's America. It's a melting pot. It's not really a melting pot, it's a salad. But, it's a bunch of... because to say everything melts into one thing doesn't make sense. It's a bunch of different stuff in it. It's a salad. You never heard that analogy before?
I've heard that.
I'm about to say, America's a salad. It's not a melting pot. So it's one of those things where it's just it's a bunch of different stuff in here.
Are we tomatoes because we're cool?
No, we're croutons.
I don't like tomatoes that much.
Oh, we're cucumbers because we're cool.
I like cucumbers. Go with that. Cool as a cucumber. Yes, give me some.
Can we be the chicken, goddamn? We the chicken.
Every salad don't got chicken
in it, man. I mean, you kind of have to have the lettuce and the vegetables. I mean, the chicken's
optional. This ain't Chick-fil-A.